Hello everyone. Today my group will be presenting the topic how the census undermine the consensus.
Divide and rule is a strategy used by British to maintain the existing society.
The map is an instrument of colonial control as it defined places which were better to rule.
The consensus joined the map and the museum as the tools.
The first consensus was held in 1872. After that, every 10 years it was held. After that, it was in 1882, and then moving forward, it was in 1902, converting it into ethnographic census.
A survey or census that includes ethnographic questions.
Prior British rule, Shudras went from one place to another and they were not considered Shudras. But after British came to India, they changed this policy and Shudras were considered untouchables even if they changed their village.
As Shashi Tharoor mentioned earlier, the Indian society was Fizzy community overlapping with other cultures.
Can you explain this?
Shashi Tharoor told that as the previous society had, even though the previous society had different cultures, they were still living in harmony and helping each other, like the Muslims helping the Hindus and the Hindus helping the other castes.
They also helped each other in building their temples and they followed other rituals also. But when British came, they thought that if they had unity, we will not be able to rule over here. So they started breaking our in various matters, and they also read our shastras so that they could know what our past was actually there and how they could break us.
When they read our shastras, they did not understand the Sanskrit language. So they hired Brahmins to explain them. Brahmins explained them in a way that they could help themselves.
Wow. Okay.
And they use census also for this, like dividing us with creed, rituals, and caste and tribes also.
So they tried to create this divide.
Yes.
Okay.
What were some labels given to the community?
Martial arts and
race
criminal tribes.
And criminal tribes included artisans and traders, and they kept an eye on them every time because they had a different occupation from others.
Come on, move on. Tharoor, what do you have to say?
शशि थरूर की पुस्तक एरा ऑफ डार्कनेस के अध्याय डिवाइडेड एम्पेरा में थरूर फूट डालो और राज करो की ब्रिटिश रणनीति पर चर्चा करते हैं। यहाँ कुछ मुख्य बिंदु हैं। भारत का सामरिक प्रभाव। अंग्रेज़ों ने भारतीय की एकता को कमज़ोर करने के लिए भारतीय समाज में विभाजन को बढ़ावा दिया, चाहे वो जाति या धर्म या क्षेत्रीय हो। इससे उनके लिए एकीकृत प्रतिरोध को रोककर नियंत्रण बनाए रखना आसान हो गया।
All these
1857 के विद्रोह में अंग्रेज़ों की भूमिका। थरूर बताते हैं कि अंग्रेज़ों ने फूट डालो और राज करो की विरासत को और मजबूत करने के लिए 1857 के परिणामों का फ़ायदा उठाया।
इससे फायदा हुआ था ब्रिटिश को प्रज्वल?
यस मैम।
इन सब चीज़ों से हुआ था फायदा?
उन्होंने विद्रोह का इस्तेमाल जिससे हिंदू और मुसलमान दोनों समुदायों के बीच में तनाव और अविश्वास फैलाने के लिए किया।
All these classifications in turn serve the interest of the colonizers by providing them with a tool.
The result of these British policies, whether by accident or design or both, was the manipulating of them, and it was a success. And the census was a success, as they had eventually divided us into Pakistan, India, Afghanistan, and Bhutan also.
During census, they counted us differently, like martial races were different, criminal tribes were different, they counted Sikhs differently, Muslims. So it created a hatred between all of us and we started fighting with each other.
It was still moved on. Once the British was gone, it was still going on.
census was still, but
We adapted the census that the British had gave us.
Acha, we did.
But it was stopped. It is not being held right now because of the corona. It was stopped.
Acha. Okay. That's it. Very well spoken.
Okay. Guys, which incident made them realize that dividing India was really important?
Once the British was ruling them more and they were dividing everything. So once they thought that we want freedom, so they thought we should not divide ourselves, we should turn into one group to fight them.
What was the
after the revolt of 1857, they got very scared that if they
What
will.
was that revolt, Samanyu? 1857?
The revolt of 1857 was the cartilages. The cartilages were made from pig of the meat, and it was against the caste to touch any meat and that, but they told them to do it. So then they united and made the revolt.